All right, next up, former MLB pitcher Trevor Bauer was accused of rape several years ago by a woman named Lindsay Hill. He recently settled the defamation of character lawsuit with her. So she filed charges against him. Judge said there's no evidence of this. He sued her for defamation. She countersued him. Her lawyers kept trying to get him to settle out of court. He said, absolutely not. I did not rape this woman. I'm not going to give you a dime. Her lawyers finally threw in the red flag. Turns out she had taken out an insurance policy on the case because she was that confident he was going to settle, and the insurance company paid her out. So he was never actually found guilty of anything, not even in civil court. They could prove that this guy did anything. Well, he released some of the text messages that Miss Hill had sent out to her friend. This is before she met him. She texted him, or texted her friend. She said, next victim, star pitcher for the Dodgers. Now, this already sounds like an innocent victim who's been fucked over here. Following up, she says, what should I steal? After the first time she was in his house, the friend said, take his money. Then she said, go into my house Wednesday. I already have my hooks in. Net worth is $51 million. Friend goes, bitch, you better secure that bag. Then she says, it gets a little bit deeper. When she realized, I think this is when she realized she wasn't just going to get the money or be able to rob this guy. She said, I need daddy to choke me out, being an absolute whore to get this $51 million. In another text message, her AA sponsor texted her, do you feel guilty about what you're doing? To which she said, not really. Here is a video of her. She also claims that she was brutally beaten and raped on the final night before she went to the police. She claims she was brutally beaten and raped to the point her skull was fractured and caved in. Well, here's the video taken the morning after the alleged incident. They've proven it with metadata as far as the timestamps of when the video was taken and when she claims she was assaulted. Go ahead and check this out and let me know if it looks like her skull has been caved into you. I'd say she looks pretty good because that's him right next to her. And she's happy-go-lucky, grinning at the camera, making pouty faces. Does not look like she has a caved-in skull. Does not look like she has a fractured skull to me. She claims that morning she had to make this courageous escape like you'd see in a movie to get away from him. I don't know, guy looked passed out to me. I think she could have made a run for it right there. So she's made all these false claims. He knew that he wasn't going to get any money out of her because there was no money to be gotten out of her, obviously. And then she claims in her statement, I can't stop Trevor Bauer ever. But if I make him think twice about doing this again, it's totally worth it. This is my problem with, and I'm watching this happen to a friend of mine. So when I see this shit, it's timely and it pisses me off. When these women get caught red-handed in a lie, exposed time and time again in a lie, trying to make a horrible accusation about somebody that 60 years ago could have gotten that guy hung, literally hung. They don't admit they were wrong. They double down. And then the problem is 25% of the population goes, yes, queen, because it's not about the truth. It's not about helping actual sexual assault victims. It's about destroying men because they're radical, man-hating feminists that have lost all semblance of rational thought. And they're truly a plague on this society. That's what they are. So here's more. The media joined in on railroading him throughout this guy lost millions of dollars. He got cut, contract got voided. He's playing over in Japan or some shit now, making yen or whatever the hell they get paid over there to play baseball. And the media railroaded this guy. Now they're not apologizing. In fact, ESPN, their quote unquote apology tweet was one of the most pathetic things I've ever seen. Let me see if I can find it here. Let's find the ESPN's tweet here. ESPN, former MLB pitcher Trevor Bauer and a woman who accused him of beating and sexually assaulting her in 2021 have settled their legal dispute. That's all they had to say on it. They railroaded this guy for years, ruined his life, ruined his reputation, ruined his career. And all they can't even say they were wrong. They can't even say she got exposed as a liar and a fraud, that text messages and video evidence that was timestamped proved she was lying. They can't say anything like that. They just have to come out and say, yeah, they settled their case. That's all they have to say. Listen, I don't want restrictions on journalists or anything like that. But if you publish a hit piece on somebody and it comes out that wasn't true, There needs to be some type of code of ethics that says you tweet that out or you publish that to the same page that the hit piece went out on. I don't give a shit if the president of the United States just got assassinated. You're putting that retraction on page 1. That's your headline story. Sorry, you fucked up when you ran with something without the facts. Now go ahead and check out this tweet from Molly Knight from the Athletic. Go ahead, pull this up here. She claimed that he had fractured the skull of Lindsey Hill at the time. This is the medical report that says he clearly didn't do it. She's being sued here. And not only did she claim he had fractured the skull of Lindsey Hill at the time, The Athletic had copies of the medical records that showed there was no fracture. They had copies of it. They knew there was no fracture, and they ran with a story that was verifiably false to slander the reported it anyway. As front page news drugged this guy through the mud, took him for years of his life, his reputation, and his career that he will never get back, tens of millions of dollars down the toilet, based on a lie, because we got to believe all women, and it's worth it even if we destroy people. Here's the thing, and I'm not going to go on a believe all women tangent again, because we know it's bullshit. I've run it. I'm not going to, I can talk about it till I'm blue in the face. Here's the thing with this believe all women thing is, I'm going to think about how to say this. So we see the statistic all the time that only 2% of sexual assault accusations are faked. Now, I have no idea where they get these numbers from. Are false allegations. I have no idea where they get these numbers from. They don't know where they get these numbers from. The only place I can figure out where these quote-unquote statistics come from are they take cases that actually make it to trial, and then not only are they found not guilty, but they can prove beyond the shadow of a doubt in a separate trial that the woman lied. I don't really think that's a scientific study. It's a lot like the people that claim the transgender... Oh, that was thunder out there. It's storming. It's a lot like the people that claim the transgender surgeries have such a low regret rate because they only use the people that get the reverse surgery and not the people that, kill themselves or spend the rest of their lives in therapy or develop substance abuse habits or spiral into a deep depression because of it. It's only the ones that can get the super expensive surgery that insurance doesn't cover. Bogus statistics that are clearly tailored to fit a narrative. That's all I've seen. I don't know what the actual number of false allegations, and this is important. I think the majority of rape allegations have a kernel of truth to them. That doesn't mean it was somebody pulled them down and forced themselves on them, but I do believe that the majority of allegations, someone maybe went over the line, maybe someone interpreted something, I don't know, but I don't think the majority of allegations are filed with ill intentions. That's important to realize, that rape's a disgusting crime, and the people that are truly guilty of it should be rounded up and hung. I'm going to clarify that. But we hear all the time that everyone knows a woman who's been assaulted, which is true. We all know a woman who's been assaulted. But you know what else? We all know a guy who's been falsely accused. We all do. Everyone knows at least one of each. And it's disgusting that both of those things happen. So we can't sit here and pretend it's not a problem because one happens more than the other. Because those guys that get falsely accused and have their name dragged through the mud in the name of social justice, they're victims too. And there has to be some type of punishment, whether it be financial, whether it be criminal. I don't know. I'm not a politician. I don't have the answers. If I was a politician, I would spend the next couple... I know what I would do. You know what I would do if I were a politician, Mia? Do you know how I'd solve the false rape allegation epidemic? You know what I'd do? I would impeach the Speaker of the House and spend the next 3 weeks trying to replace him. Because that's what you do. And then I would send out a notification on everyone's phone that turned them into zombies. So it's a problem both ways. I don't see how that's a controversial take. This is why I always say you can't believe or not believe anyone based on what's between their legs. That's bullshit. That's a horrible idea. I thought that was a nuanced take. I don't think that... I'm sorry, feminists. No, I'm not sorry. Go fuck yourselves. But I don't think that saying, hey, we should take each case on a case-by-case basis, base it on the merit of the claims, the evidence at hand, the person who's making the accusations, because let's be real here. That does play a role. If someone's a habitual liar that's been exposed again and again and again and again, that might play a role in whether or not we believe them. If the evidence isn't adding up, if the story keeps changing, maybe that plays a role in whether or not we should believe them. Oh, no, she has a vagina. I don't care that her story's changed 7 times. I don't care she's been convicted 8 different times of false allegations in a court of law. She has a vagina. We're going to believe her. I don't care that she's clearly photoshopping evidence. She has a vagina. We're going to believe her. That's bullshit, and you know it. And that's why you guys get so angry and won't actually come have a conversation with me about this concept, because you know it can't hold up the second it's pressed. It collapses like a house of cards, because that's what it is. You got a sandcastle of logic, man. And I'm the wave coming to blow it over. Go fuck yourselves.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, be sure to click the link in the description to get the full episode on Rumble. If you prefer to listen along, you could actually get us on Spotify, Spreaker, and iHeartRadio. You can also go to www.outlawstreamers.com to learn more about not just my show, but tons of other great shows and all the exciting projects they have coming up. Follow my socials at Caleb Isn't Funny on Twitter and Instagram, at Caleb Salvatore Comedy on the Chinese Spy app that is TikTok, and be sure to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thanks, and we'll see you every Saturday for brand new episodes of That's Based. Peace.